Once I had a vision that took me up above, then gently brought me down again, filled with so much love. I was shown so many things, it sent me in a spin. There is so much work to do, so now we must begin. First there is the music, you understand its worth. Feel the music in your soul and you can leave this earth. Keep looking all around you, keep searching for the light. You have a soul within you all that needs to burn so bright. Music is the answer, dancing is the key. Ignites the light within you all so you like we can see. The world is just an illusion, you know there's something more. Open your mind and you will find the key to the celestial door. Okay, lovely. How are you?
Processing.
Processing.
There's a lot about, isn't there? Whew.
There is. There's that big energy wave right now that's hitting everyone and taking them under.
Isn't it just?
To be on that one, do we?
Well,
everything's okay.
Well, we're not immune, and I don't claim to be a saint.
No, I know, none of us are, but we don't need to be taken under by that energy that's going on right now.
I confess that it happens to me sometimes, but
of course,
but not in the company of people like you.
So you've been okay? How have you been?
Guys, I've been processing a lot of stuff. Actually, there's a lot of I'm doing a lot of one-to-one work with people at the moment, so I'm holding a lot of trauma. But I'm also kind of feeling that there's a lot of trauma in the air. There was, as consciousness, as the truth arises, and that really does bring some shit to the surface, doesn't it?
Of course, but it is coming to the surface.
Oh, well, absolutely, and it's absolutely essential that it does. But it's not always
very uncomfortable.
Absolutely, but it's often
and scary sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. And I kind of noticed a wave of intensity since the last few days, really. I don't know whether there's anything going on astrologically, but there seems to be a raising of awareness, and with that, of course, a release of the shadow, which
of course, and that's the bit. The shadow work. The shadow work.
Absolutely, which is really what I do.
You know, I just see a big pot, and all the scum's coming to the top to be. You know, and it's all good. You've got to see it as it's all.
Well, it's all good. It's all evolution. It's consciousness rising, and you know, whatever arises is good because it is. It's the challenge is managing a response to that consciously, isn't it? And you know, it's
we have to hold that space.
100%.
Space of love and understanding and compassion. We have to hold that space for everybody, no matter who they are on this planet, everyone. If they're lost, they're lost, and it's because they don't know what we know, and that's all. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and once they do know, then they have got that choice.
Yeah, and they need help through that process.
Of course, and that's why we're all coming together now. Whatever label they want to call us, I don't want to give us a label, but we've been separated, going on this journey, all of us, for a long time now. And now we're coming together as a collective because we are the ones that are going to raise the consciousness and the vibration. And that's why our vibration has got to be high at all times, no matter what is going on. We have to know that we are not alone and we have energy from the universe that is real and we're connected to it. And it flows through us, and every moment is if you're connected to this energy, every single moment is magical. And you are creating, every single planet is creating their own reality, even if it's by default, even if they don't know they're doing it, they are doing it. And it's by how they're thinking and how they're feeling. And it's now we've got to release these traumas, the past traumas have got to be released so that people can spring back into the now moment. Otherwise, they're still living in the past and bringing the darkness into their now moment. And it's all to do with consciousness. Just release. Get into the now moment. And now is perfect. Everything is happening perfectly. It's all meant to be like this because we are evolving. And thank God for you.
Because
Before we met you, me and Frances have been doing this work for such a long time, but we didn't have a platform. We didn't want a platform. We were doing this work, doing it for our families, our communities, just doing it. And then we got to that place of we've done everything. The chewing gum's lost its flavour of everything we were doing at that time. We needed to move on. And we went to our trees when we done the little thank you message to you before we came to see you. And we sat there with spirit, and it came on us that we need to be doing videos now. We need to be sharing this with the world. And we both got downloaded, got so excited about it. And then we said, we need to go away for a few days to go and be able to spend some time with just each other, get the camera out and just start. So we needed that. So Frances said, well, I'll go and find out if there's somewhere we can go for a few days. You were the first, wasn't he? Will you tell them about the very first, wasn't he?
Very first thing that came up, I searched, very first thing that came up, I looked, I had a quick look at your bio, and I was like, this sounds like, I don't think I need to look any further. I sent the link to Tracie. She said, yep. And that was it. We didn't have any expectations.
Well, we were fully booked. We were fully booked. Yeah.
We were fully booked.
And I got the email from you, and I was about to sort of write back my apology. And an email comes through from a lady and her friends who have gone down with COVID who wouldn't be coming.
Bless them, bless them.
They're coming later and they've recovered and fine, but you couldn't.
Lovely, but it was meant to be.
You couldn't make that up,
the
could you?
It orchestrated it all because we decided that, well, with Spirit, we decided, yes, we're connected with Spirit. We need to go away for a few days. Frances found you. I said yes, and you know when everything falls into place, everything was just so smooth.
Yeah, we've got lives, we've got things to sort out before we can't just go.
We've got animals, children, families, work, everything we've got to sort out. And the day that we had available for us was the 12th and 13th, 14th, wasn't it? So we was all prepared for that. Frances emailed you. You was fully booked. But you had some spaces the weekend right in front of us. But the funny thing was, Frances said, 2 weeks is too long. We need to go now. We need to go now. And you allowed us to go now. So we were there. We turned up.
I had nothing to do with it, did I?
And it was like, wow. Okay, but the universe is brilliant because then it dawned on us we were in the Now project.
Yeah.
Because we were asking the universe, now
what? Now.
Now.
We say what now?
You're what?
And then we everything else that we were downloaded all just came back to us like, oh my day, this is how. I was even looking the other day, saying to Frances, we need to learn how to do this screen where you've got the split screen. We need to learn. So I went on YouTube and I went, no, it's too much.
No, here's what you do. You sit down under the trees, right? And you let it come out.
Yes, and everything's just flowing beautifully now. It really, really is. It's so perfect. Everything's so perfect. So we know what we're doing. We know who we are. We know why we're here. We know where we're going. What more can you ask for?
We just now need to share that with
other people. We want to share it with everyone. We want everyone to have this. It's a beautiful thing. And it is for every single person. It's a thought away. It's literally a conscious thought away. That's all it is. And then once they know they've got that to open up to, then of course all that trauma is going to be released. It's got somewhere to go. They can release that because a lot of people are holding on to it. That's their story.
No, but the thing is as well, a lot of the time it's what you're focused on, because you have two ways of looking at things. You can either keep focused on the bad, or you can keep focused on the what you call good. Yeah, the positive and negative. Now we live our lives on the positive. No matter what comes in our lives, we look at it from what we can learn, what blessing's going to come out of it. We kind of see life like that.
I think you do more than that, Frances. And we'll talk about your book in a minute. But one of the things I really loved is kind of the way with the pair of you do it is the whole world as it evolves in the present moment is just like a fairy tale in your life. So there's villains and there's dark woods and the rest of it, but it's a fairy tale. And And I think that's a very beautiful way to live. But that's more than a positive mental attitude. I think you do something much more powerful than that. You're bringing a
dark words.
You're bringing a positive intention.
Yes.
And energetically, you're bringing positivity into the world, right?
Yeah.
And that makes the world sparkle, doesn't it?
It does.
And it makes the world a great adventure and something magical.
Does. Because it's exciting.
Because life is a great adventure. It all depends what you want to focus on.
It depends.
We all have.
It depends upon the vibrational field that you're coming from. You know,
that's right.
And when we've all been in the darkness. You know, that's what's pushed us here. And there's been times in our lives that would have just not been possible for us. You know, we're so lost in the darkness. Yeah. So you can only really. It's all really a reflection of your vibration.
It really is. And it really, really is.
And there's been time in all of our lives where we've attracted some darkness, haven't we?
Yes, but we needed that.
But you know what? It's because there's something in you that's attracted it to you. So
Absolutely.
So instead of looking at the outside world as, why is this coming to me? You look at yourself and you go, what is in me that is sending that vibration out for me to look at?
But that requires awareness.
Of course, total awareness of yourself, because we're not a body, we're in a body. We're not a mind. Our mind is our tool, it's our computer, and we program it, or it gets programmed. That's the unfortunate thing for us. It gets programmed, and they get sent to school at 5, and they're taught how to remember. Yeah, they're programmed how to remember a lot of information that most of it doesn't serve them in their real daily lives, but they're taught, they just stay in their minds, and then once a year they're asked to remember. So it's all about keeping them trapped inside their minds, and that's why the traumas don't get released, because they've been taught that they are their minds, and they're not.
You're saying some really important stuff here, and you sound like a robot, right? Let's see if we can do something about the sound, because this is really what you're putting across here is really, really important. And I want people to be able to hear it. And we've got a problem with the sound, I think. We'll try talking again.
Yeah. Are you there? Am I still a robot?
I've got something about your bandwidth. Are you on a router or something? You're saying you've got very low bandwidth.
We're on mobile data.
Ah, okay. That might explain.
We had to do it that way.
We had to do it that way.
Okay. Well, it was working. So let's see if let's press on as best we can.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
You still sound a bit like somebody's drowning you.
Okay. Well, I'm not drowned. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, it was fine. So let's just press on and see if it comes back. We'll do it with surrender.
Maybe we need to keep it lighter then. Well, maybe we need to stop going into the darkness. And
absolutely. I think that this is really what you're saying, and that's what I kind of want to convey, because that's the challenge, isn't it? When there is so much darkness, arising.
But we don't focus on that. It's about focusing on the light.
We have to acknowledge it. Yeah, and
focus on it.
And that's awareness. You can only focus, you can only consciously choose your energetic intention, as you ladies do, right?
Yes.
Because you have reached a certain level of awareness that allows you to do that.
Yes.
That's not the reality for most people coming through this.
No. And it wasn't the reality for us either.
Or me. Yeah.
Like, it was that we're talking darkness. There was horns. There was demons.
Well, and that is the world. The majority of people who are interested in this are currently living in. And I think there needs to be an acceptance for acknowledgement of that. We sure as hell don't dwell there. Right, and we sure as hell don't get dragged down because we have awareness. Yeah.
And it's a lower vibrational energy. It's a lower frequency. It's an energy of survival. It's an energy of fear. It's all them energies all mixed up that most people are living under. And a lot of people are born into that energy and don't even realise that is the frequency they've been born into.
Absolutely.
And so they've got generationals of stuff to get unpacked, and they've been born into it. And they're in that frequency, and they're wondering why do I feel like crazy sometimes?
Well, because it is crazy. Yeah,
it is crazy.
And it was that craziness that disturbed us enough to awaken.
Well, we knew it wasn't right. There was something inside us that knew this is not right.
Well, you knew that from a small child, Frances, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It never made a lot of bloody sense, did it?
Do you know what? Your thoughts are so powerful. No matter what you've been through in life, no matter how it's been for you, that is what is or
absolutely.
What was.
It's past.
We're here as we're co-creating. We are creators.
Okay.
And when you start seeing yourself as something bigger than your mind and your body, then you know that you've come to do some great things. So stop dwelling on it. Stop talking about it. Stop focusing on it.
No, absolutely.
On the life and the world that you want to create.
Well, the world that you are creating. Because the moment you start to do that, you're shifting the vibrational field. And you're projecting that into reality.
Yes, and it's a reality. It is real. It's so real.
Which is how you live. Which is how you live the world of fairy tales and excitement and sparkly magical world that you two ladies inhabit. Because that's the energy that you're projecting.
Yes. I mean, I'll just tell you something that happened the other day, because sometimes it's not just all fairies. When I got in my car and I turned the car on, and I realised someone had siphoned all my petrol out my car. Yeah. So in that moment,
you saw your shadow for a second.
In that moment, my guts went. It was like, oh, someone's like, I feel a bit violated, and it was like, but in that moment as well, I had to literally consciously think, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Someone stole your petrol, it's fine. You're blessed enough that you can now drive to the petrol station and put some more in. I won't fill it up, put a bit in. And then it was like, right, so I won't park my car where I parked it, so that I'll park the petrol cap is on the roadside now. Then I thought to myself, right, I always wanted to get the little cameras for the car, and I never did. And I need to get the little cameras for inside the car. So I've got the little cameras for inside the car. So I've let go of the guy or the woman that stole the petrol, bless them. If they had to go out and steal my petrol, bless them. They're not in where I am now.
No,
they've had to go and take from someone. And that energy they've taken, that will sort itself out. I haven't got to give it no mind, just bless them. Then you understand, not that I'm a religious person at all, but you understand what Jesus was trying to say when the coat got stolen and someone got all angry because your coat got stolen. And Jesus said, well, here's my coat. Like, don't let that your vibration drop. Just know that person who did take from you is lacking in spirit where you're not. Yeah? So then you start seeing things, and when things happen that appear to be bad, you don't look at them like that anymore. You see it for what it is, the energy that it is. Even when people argue and row, I never used to like that. Just be the peacemaker. But I'm not so much now. It's like, okay, you've got some power struggle going on here that you both need to sort out. Let them do it. It's okay. They'll grow through it, or they won't. But it's not going to change my vibration.
That's it.
If someone's unhappy, if they're unhappy or they're sad, they're going through stuff, I can feel where they're at, but I won't let it take me under. I won't be there. Yeah.
And that changes that changes them too. That changes them too. And that changes the very fabric of reality.
It does.
And I think being compassionate and being empathetic are completely two different things. So you can have compassion for someone, and you should have compassion for somebody, but being empathetic don't allow them to drag you into their misfortune or their dis-ease. You you know what I mean? You have compassion, but you don't go in there with them.
No.
You're of no help to them if
No, you're not.
if you go
You
down
drop
to
your
their
vibration.
vibration. You're no
But that-
help at all.
And their compassion can drag them out.
Yes, they need to learn what they need
Yeah.
to learn.
Their
Yeah.
compassion, your compassion has the power to drag them out of that downward
Yeah.
spiral.
Yes.
Just that energy, just that intention.
Of course. Of
And I'm
course.
sure you do it all the time.
We do. And because we know who we are now, we know we're powerful beings. We do know that. We know we're energetic beings. We know it. We believe it. We understand that. So when we look at someone else and they're in our field, we're going to give you the same. We know you are too. And then when people are in our presence, they know that we see that. And then it reminds that people, that's who I am too. We're no different from anyone. And we can see the truth in people's souls when we're in their vibration, in their energy, and they feel it with us. And then we all become part of that one collective consciousness. And that's the beauty. And as we expand and we share, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And everyone can feel safe in it. It's a beautiful thing to be part of. And it is a movement. It's an energy movement and an energy shift. And that comes to what we're going to be bringing to the world, isn't it? We know that there's plenty of people out in this world that have come to this now place that have also had the vision and dream of having healing centres all over the world. They've all had that. The ones that are to come into the light to help the others come through what they're going to be coming through, we'd have to be ready for that. There's going to be a big shake up. Yeah. There's going to be healing centres all over the world that we need to be being ready for. Yeah. So we know we're part of that. We know that everyone who's on this journey has had that in their gut and they know they're part of that. None of us, not one of us can do it on our own. Collectively, we can.
Well, collectively, we can't fail.
We can't fail. And also, it's preordained. It's preordained anyway. Just follow the path. It's laid out in front of all of us. We're not making this up.
No, I remember Frances talking about the blueprint.
Yes,
you've got the blueprint. Yeah, and isn't that kind of...
So have you. So have you.
Yeah, yes,
so has every person on this planet.
They have, if they're tuned into it.
Everyone's been born with a blueprint.
But you know what? It's about where your focus is. That's all it is. It's always about where your focus is. Because if you are focusing on what is happening in the world, watching the news, reading all what's going on, then you get caught up in that and you're not actually really tuning into who you really are and what you're here to do, you know. And we were born with the truth within us. We know what the truth is. We know it when we hear it. We may not sometimes understand it, but you feel it. You feel it somewhere deep, and you go, actually, that person's not telling me something. They're not teaching me something. They're telling me something I already know. They are reminding me of who I really am and what I really already know. Yeah. So,
and allowing that,
you know, there's no teachers. There is nobody teaching anyone. When you feel something and you know it's the truth, you know that you've connected with that bigger part of you, and that's a beautiful thing. And that is what we want to. This is the main thing you want to share with people, that everybody, no matter where you come from, no matter what you're going through, you all come from this same energy, this same consciousness. And when you stop focusing on all the crap in the world and start going within, you can really start feeding off of it and feeling it and bringing it through you into the world. And that's where you make a difference.
Isn't it amazing?
It is. The world's a beautiful place. Have you been in nature? Have you been in nature and seen the waterfalls and seen the grass and seen the trees? Let me tell you about something that happened to me the other day. Well, a couple of weeks ago. I sit at my kitchen window and there's a beautiful tree
this is amazing.
that I look at every day. And I've looked at it and it's been there for years. And I really like it because the leaves are not dense. It kind of like does that.
Cool.
It looks like water when the breeze hits it, kind of goes like that. And then
it's not in your garden.
It's not in my garden. It's way over past Yeah, it's a big tree. Yeah, way over. And I'm always looking at it thinking, oh, I really love you. And I've taken pictures of different sunsets, different colours behind it. So I've got it all like that. So the other week I was in my garden and I had a pot and there was some weeds growing in it. And I had a plant that needed to just come out because it was not dying, but it wasn't doing well there. So I thought, oh, I'll do that soon. And I saw the weeds and I thought, just leave them, I'll sort it all out at the same time. 2 weeks later, I was looking at this tree and I was really appreciating it. And I was sending it love. And I really felt it like deep within me, the connection with the tree. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, I goes into my garden. I thought, oh, let me sort that pot out now because the earth's still good and it deserves to have something nice planted in it. So I've gone down there, taken the old plant out, and I thought, this isn't a weed that was growing in there, it's a tree. And I looked at the leaves, and the leaves were familiar. And I was like, oh my God, I looked at the tree, and it's the same leaves as the tree. And I thought, oh my God, I felt so blessed that the tree had planted a baby in my pot. All that was happening while I was giving it, appreciating it and loving it and, you know, thinking, oh, I love the way your leaves go. And then I've got a little baby. It's only in that pot. It's not anywhere else. There's not hundreds of them, or the wind didn't blow loads of them in and just plant them all over the place. Just in that pot that I was going to plant something nice in.
Well,
Now, isn't that beautiful?
what a beautiful world you manifest.
Well, this is it. So something like that. I mean, you tell me, it's just little stuff like we know.
Oh my God, how beautiful to give a baby from a tree.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's the life we live in, anyway.
Yeah, it is. And synchronicity.
Oh, yes. Well, you see, when you start
goodness.
plugging into the blueprints, you realise it's not all up to you, is it?
No, there is a blueprint.
You just got to stand still enough.
Yes, we're following it.
You've got to see the
And,
pattern, haven't you?
and there is a pattern. It's all a pattern. And also, even though you have these visions of download, you see the visions, they happen. So it's like deja vu. We live in deja vu a lot of the time because we always see it before it happens. Okay. And we also know if all of our past visions have come true, then the ones that we've got for this bit are absolutely out of this world. And that's why we keep getting excited.
Can I add a little caveat to this?
Go on.
Because I kind of want to sort of explore the difference between downloading the blueprints and an ego's plan.
Yeah.
Right. Which is where a lot of people can get lost.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you start downloading that stuff, you get really damn excited, don't you?
Yeah.
And if you're not very careful, there's a tendency for the ego to run into the future. And now it's taken over and we're in trouble. Right. And here's how you know which is which. Right. The ego's plan will be linear.
Yeah.
Right? I start here and I'm going there, or I'm ending there and I'm working back.
Yeah,
right? These plans are like a jigsaw, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get a piece here and a piece here. And to start with, you may not even get to see what the picture is at all. And then you get the bit that goes in the middle, don't you? And then other pieces crop up, and then other people come along with pieces.
Yes.
So the picture emerges. Vision. Yeah.
They've seen the same vision.
Yes.
They've felt it. They've seen it. They've seen the beautiful world we can live in. They've seen it too. So we're all beautiful parts of the big picture. And we all come together to create that.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
that's how you know the difference.
Yeah. And it's like anything we do, anything we go to do, it's all spirit led. We don't chase anything. It's like at the moment, we're looking for music producers to do a certain music for us.
Did you hear that, everybody that's watching this? If you have, no, seriously, this happens, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Don't rule it out. Yeah,
no,
if you know somebody in that music business, in fact, I may know somebody myself, right?
Yeah. Right. So
who could help in this project.
Yeah, the project. So the next part of the project is we really need to get the music down. We need the music.
Yeah.
So we know how it should feel. We know what vibration it is, but we're not music producers. So therefore we know there's a corresponding component to the jigsaw puzzle that is someone that knows about music, who does want his music, their music to be used in a beautiful, healing way. And they don't want their music talent wasted.
Right.
Now we know that person.
Tell me what you're doing, because this is really exciting. Right? And I want a piece of this. I'm going to come.
You're already there.
Yeah, but I want to come and have a little boogie. But tell me what you do. Tell us about Travelling Lights.
Travelling Light.
Well, yeah, we're called Travelling Light because we travel and we're light, and it's, you know, we're traveling, we're constantly moving and flowing. So Travelling Light movement is where we use music frequency, tone,
Colour,
the corresponding colour to. All right, so we know we have energy centers in our body. Other people know them as chakras, but that takes it into like a religious thing. So we say energy centers. So with the red, you'll have a red color, you will have a certain tone, a certain frequency that vibrates with that part of your body. And what we are doing is we're putting this all together in music and using colour
lights,
and corresponding it all, so that you take a journey through your body,
through your energy system,
through music and colour and
movement.
And dance,
movement.
We
won't use the word dance because people say we can't dance. We're not going to use the word dance. But if you can imagine being in a room, you're being told you don't have to move, you don't have to do anything. Just stand there, and if your body wants to move, then that's up to you. But you're not pressured to do anything. Then the whole room goes red with powerful red lights. So everything's red. The music will be tribal, very, very tribal. Because that's your root chakra. So people are going to move. They can't help but move. They're going to move. The movement releases the energy of that chakra, and music will make them move a certain way. Then the room will change into the next chakra color, the next frequency of music. They're already now be moving anyway. So then as the music comes into them, they'll connect with the music, the color, the frequency. Together, that will release that chakra, that energy system. Then we'll go up to the next one, then the next, until at the end,
goes higher and higher and higher.
At the end, it'd be like we want everyone to come in a white t-shirt so that the colours really enhance. And then obviously there's more levels. Of course, we're only human. We don't know how many levels there are. But even within us, for us to connect to the divine, to the universal energy, we need to have our energy systems all facing the right way. Okay. And once they are spinning in the right direction, then they can be open to the power that is there for them. Right. It releases all the traumas, everything about them, makes them who they truly are through music, colour, light, frequency. And then the last one will be like a UV purple. And by then, I know everyone will be like that. And then they can go on with their day. It'll be like a cleansing station. And we want them all over the world. And that's what's going to be happening.
See, the great thing is as well, it's not, you don't come to be healed, you come to release yourself. You know, we're not doing anything. We're just giving you these tools, these certain components, bringing them all together in the correct way to help you go through your body.
Yeah.
I want some of that.
Shall I tell you that poem again that just brings it together?
Oh, yeah, no, go on, please.
Was you going to say something?
No, go on.
Once I had a vision that took me up above, then gently brought me down again, filled with so much love. I was shown so many things, it sent me in a spin. There is so much work to do, so now we must begin. First there is the music, you understand its worth. Feel the music in your soul and you can leave this earth. Keep looking all around you, keep searching for the light. You have a soul within you all that needs to burn so bright. Music is the answer, dancing is the key. ignites the light within you all, so you, like we can see. The world is just an illusion. You know there's something more. Open your mind and you will find the key to the celestial door. And the other one I tried to tell you before was, can you feel the power? Can you feel the love? Something wonderful is happening above. Plug yourself in and energize. This will change all your lives. Feel the wonders and the powers. Really smell the beautiful flowers. Take off your mask, stop being blind. Things can get better for mankind. Evolve your mind, evolve your soul. You have the power of becoming whole. All our minds linked together, the ultimate power to last forever. Now that was channeled in 97, and they weren't ready. The world weren't ready for that, them words, but they're ready now, as you can feel, ready now. And that's how mysterious the universe is.
I've got sense we might find a music producer.
Oh, and then Adrian, how's Chris?
Oh, she's lovely. Chris? Lovely
Isn't
as
she
ever.
beautiful?
Oh.
She is such a dream,
oh my God,
she?
just...
I know you manifested her. You manifested her.
I had to let go of a lot of ego shit that was preventing that vibration from coming into my life.
Yeah, well, you're programmed to be like that, man.
Well, yeah, I was, but you know,
it wasn't really you was.
And I realised the moment it went.
Yeah, yeah, and the connection.
Well, the moment I let go of my final stupidity and allowed it in.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
It's being aware, isn't it? It's just being conscious all the time of and observing yourself.
Observing yourself and your patterns and your emotions and how you respond to things and how you automatically react.
But do you know what? It all starts with a thought, doesn't it? It all starts with
sometimes it's an emotion. You know, your
emotions come from a thought.
Well, they do, but sometimes the emotions trigger the thoughts. You know, sometimes it's a physiological response first of all. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working through stuff the last couple of days really associated with some post-traumatic stress from something awful or a period in my life where there was a lot of abuse, a lot of trauma. And something happened that triggered that, and it literally it's a visceral response first, and then you're absolutely right. It's karma. It's old trauma. Yeah, it's actually caught me a bit off guard, and you're absolutely right, because if that gets into your head, you're in big trouble, aren't you? Because that will possess your ego and you will run those stories. All those things happened those years ago. You'll be reliving them over and over again and energizing this monster in your body until you end up creating an outer reflection of that in the world around you. And that's really not bloody helpful. Right. And actually that's where the world's, you know, for a lot of people it's they've created hell on earth, and what you're doing, and what you're doing, no, you can bring heaven, you can bring light, you can bring love, you can bring this energy that you can create heaven on earth, and you ladies are living embodiment of that, aren't you?
Thank you. We are. Thank God for, well, I don't even want to use that word because it gets another connotation. Universal energy,
it also creates a separation.
It does. It does.
I think there's you and that eternal consciousness. Now there is no separation between you and that eternal consciousness. There is no you and it. Yeah.
No, it's us.
Get yourself out of the way.
That's right. That's what we've been saying. That was our mantra this morning. Let's just get out of the way and just let source flow through us, and it knows what's to be said.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does.
Doesn't it just?
It does. And we just want to bring hope really for the future. We want people to know that the future is bright. It really, truly is. And I feel the timelines are shifting now. So there will be two worlds, not two world.
It's not a future event. You are bringing that world into existence right now through your energetic transition, and you are living proof that it is happening.
Yes,
and actually anybody listening to this, it will be happening to them too.
Yes, of course.
But it starts with a conscious thought. You know, you can you can have either.
A
You can
conscious
have
thought
either.
rather than ego thought, and they're very different.
Yeah,
things.
definitely.
Yeah.
You can either carry on the same way, or you can consciously start being aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and you know how you can change.
And the place that thought's coming from, you know. And
Yes, there is something bigger than us.
But there is,
some.
This is something that people will often struggle with as they're going through this process, you know. And which is kind of, I encourage people to go on a thinking diet, right? Because when people are lost in ego, 95% of their thoughts are unconscious. Not their thoughts, they're programmed thoughts, their patterns, their conditioning. There's not very few conscious thoughts there at all, and if they are, they're drowned out by the conditioning. Yeah.
But you know what, Adrian, as well, I really like to I'm constantly challenging my beliefs.
Yes.
You know, your beliefs is only based on a thought that you keep on thinking.
It's a conditioned
that
pattern,
you've thought for such a long time that it's become solid.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I really try to keep an open mind and an open heart and keep on challenging my beliefs as to, is this something that has been programmed into me? Is this something that I really believe?
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
So that you can constantly grow.
But this is the big you. This is you connected to the great mind.
Yes.
Yeah? This is not on the level of tiny mind. Yeah. And actually what you're doing is the great mind is observing the madness of the tiny mind. Yeah. And that's the liberation.
Yes. And also a liberation.
When thoughts come from there, they're very powerful.
Yes.
Because they're downloaded from the blueprint.
That's right.
I just wanted to kind of differentiate that for people watching this, because they won't all necessarily have that level of awareness quite yet, and it can be very confusing, because the ego will want to take ownership of their conscious awareness.
Of course. Yeah, of course. And another liberating thing for me was, we've all had abuse. We've all been in that dark place. We don't need to talk about it anymore. We all have been in that really dark place, and bad things have happened.
Yes.
To us, we thought at the time. Now we know it was for us. Because when you realise who you really truly are and why you're really, really here, we needed to go through.
Oh, absolutely! I wouldn't swap it for a second.
How could we ever connect with another human being if we hadn't known that side of things? So that now I thank every day for the worst things that happen, because the worst things that happen, the amount of blessing and growth and knowing of thyself that comes from all of that, I would never not want it to happen. So if I had to do it all again, that's exactly how it would be. And that freed me up from anything I thought was unfair, unjust, shouldn't have happened. No, yes, it should have all ever happened, because of the work that's to be done now. And we're going to be able to reach so many more people, because if it hadn't happened to me, it's happened to Frances. Sorry, that's angel time.
But this is surrender, isn't it? It's by bringing acceptance to that, you shift your vibrational field.
Yeah.
Go from trauma to alignment. That act brings you into alignment. Yes.
And you heal from every single bit of it, because you can see the gem in it. You see why you understand humans so much more because of it. There's things you wouldn't say or do because you wouldn't, because that's happened, and you now know what
you know the power of your words as well. You know the power. You know that you're giving out a frequency. Yeah. And even your words have a vibration, and they affect people. They either infect them or affect them in a positive way. So you have to be really careful and conscious of what you're putting out there. Every word,
every action, every decision, every thought, every interaction with the world that comes to a field of consciousness.
Yeah, and if things ain't going right, and I remember at one time in my life thinking, if everyone who was in my life changed, If everyone sorted it out, I would be happy. It's all them. If they would just stop doing what they're doing, I would be happy. Well, that's not crazy, really. now, then people are not in my life anyway.
You found happiness within.
I found the happiness within. I raised stuff out of different situations and places and things, because once you've raised up, they're not going to connect with you anymore because you're on a different vibration. You just don't. It just doesn't happen anymore. I don't engage with people that are going to give me that sort of energy, because every interaction is an energy exchange. So even if I turn on a radio or if I turn on a TV, I know whatever's coming out there, I'm exchanging with that energy.
Yeah.
So I've got to be so mindful of who I'm with, and because I know my frequency and know my energy now, it literally is like you feel it before it happens, so you don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Also intention for the day. Every day I set a good intention for the day. Every day I've got things to do. I do it in spirit. I don't give myself a long list that I'm never going to get through. I get things done through the power of spirit, and therefore everything becomes easy. It's easy to do at the right time. I know the right time, the right moment. Sometimes something makes me feel like, oh, I've got to leave the house now, but I don't need to be there for another half an hour. No, you need to leave the house now. I won't argue with that. I'll get up and leave the house, and then I'll bump into someone that needed something in that moment, or I needed to hear something in that moment. I'll have an exchange with someone. And it's like, because I'm full of spirit, I end up where I need to be at the right time with the right people. And I just know it's going to be a beautiful day. And it will be. No matter what happens, it will be a beautiful day.
You know what I've started
you make
to do,
it one.
Adrian?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've started to script my life. You know, like I write stories, I script my life. Like if I'm going out for the day, I'm going to do something, I write it not in this is what I'm going to do, but the energy that I want the day to be in. You know, I see it, I feel it, I feel the beautiful interactions that I'm going to have with people, the smiles and the energy that I'm going to give out, the energy that I'm going to get back. And I can honestly say at the end of the day, I reflect, and it was exactly how I wanted it to be.
Are you creative?
Because if we belong to something much bigger than us, but we have that energy within us, we have that connection, then we are creators. So all the time I'm visualizing what I want in my life, what I want to happen, the energy that I want to give out, what I want to get back. And this is how we're living our life.
Yeah, that's what's bringing us forward.
I don't go up in the day going, oh, let's hope it's a good day today.
No, we know it's going to be a good day.
There's no hope. There's doubt in hope. Yeah. It's going to be a great day.
It already is. It already is. The energy you're projecting is creating it in this moment.
It is. It's truly. And when we come together, me and Frances, when we come together and spend time, literally magic happens around us. Like when the power of two, it is astounding what happens around us. It is magical that happens. We laugh, don't we? And sometimes we say, I might have to tie a string to your ankle, and you might have to tie one smile, because sometimes we think we're going to go so far up, we might not want to come back down again. Like, bring me down. But we are grounded. We are very grounded. We know how to ground ourselves. We know how to interact. We know how to share what we've got, and we can't wait to do more. We just can't wait, because we're excited about the future that's coming for everyone. We're so excited. We've seen it, and it is so beautiful. And people are going to, whether they want to believe or not, something is going to happen, and they're not going to have really a choice whether this is real or not. They're just gonna know. So we're all being put into place to help them with that. Each and every one of us that have got the blueprint are here for that. So we can let go of all the trauma, let go of all the stuff that happened. Just know that's getting us ready for all these people that are coming through with all of that. They've got to look in our eyes and know that we know where you're at, and it's okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay. And that's the message we're bringing to everyone. You're all going to be okay.
like we were speaking about earlier, it's not about being empathetic and going, oh, we understand where you are.
That's not
It's like,
helpful.
we've been where you are,
We feel
where
it.
we
Come with
are.
us.
because where we are is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this is
You know,
great. This is fun.
come.
And another thing that I've noticed as well in the spiritual community, even though we haven't really gone into anything. We're not shown ourselves to anyone yet. We've been doing our work. You're the first person, you're the first platform that we've really opened up to. So we knew it was the right one, and we've been asking for it, haven't we?
Yeah.
The right platform to help people understand who they truly are, to bring the magic back into people's lives, which is there. Don't use that word magic. I don't want that to mean things that people don't want to.
Do you know what? It's all the perception.
It's all perception.
So if the intention that she's putting out there as magic is
Yeah.
sprinkling how
Have a magic life. Why not?
you know.
Yeah.
That's what I loved
others
about your book,
perceive
Frances. I
yeah,
talked
how
about
others
this,
perceive that is up to them, isn't it?
Frances' book, how good was that book?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I read it on holiday. You know, I haven't read a book like that just for fun
Yeah.
for a very long time, and I thought it was really beautiful. And I think it's the sense of magic running through that. You can kind of
You feel it,
You
can't
can
you?
feel it, and I loved how through these life lessons, you know, your awareness grows and sort of the ego dissolves. And I think, you know, that's an experience for a lot of people. It's how consciousness teaches us very often, isn't it? You know, it will give us a life lesson. And I thought one of the really beautiful things about your book is how it's told through life lessons. You know,
It's relatable, isn't it?
yeah, people could see the lesson. They can also maybe relate it to their own lives and situations, and you know, and I think that's a really, really beautiful way to teach. And it was anyway. I very much enjoyed it. Very much.
That's what I was going to say, Adrian, about the spiritual community. It seems to be very serious right now, and we want to just bring some love and laughter into it, because you need to be happy, people. People in the spiritual community need to be smiling, need to be having fun, need to be happy. That's the energy we need to be bringing down.
It's what we've got to be moving towards, isn't it? We have to.
We have to.
It's been very dark for a long time, and
So now we need to start showing. And another thing, me and Frances' vision when we left you, is that we would absolutely love to put a retreat on for the retreaters. Don't the retreaters need a retreat?
Don't we just?
Not teaching, not learning, just the retreaters to come together who've been doing so much work, to come together with others and just have some fun for 3 days.
Just a treat for the retreat.
Pure fun. So we're not helping people heal. We're not doing any of the things. We're literally all in our own power, and we bring it to the table. All the ones that have been doing the work. Can you imagine what that would be like? Could you imagine?
I daren't even try. But I can feel it.
You can feel that, can't you?
Yeah, I'm also feeling some certain people coming together.
Oh, definitely. This is what it's all about now.
It has to be the right place.
The right
it has to be the right place.
But these people, they're coming into our orbits, aren't they? These people.
Yeah, a little bit of heaven on earth where they can come, let go of everything, come and really just come back to really who they are. They'll be so much more powerful in the world after it. We really want to have fun. We want to laugh. We want to have banter with. Let's have a bit of fun.
When we finish this, I've got 2 things that I need to do. One of them, I'm going to speak to somebody who may be able to help in your endeavours. Well, I'm not promising it, but I think it'll be very helpful for them too.
Of course, this is what we said. It'll be good for whoever is part of this. It's going to be good for them too.
Well, of course, just be part of that vibration is going to be healthy for anyone, isn't it?
Of course, that's what we want to do. We want to share it, and we know that we can do what we can do. And with your help, Adrian, and with others out there that have been on this journey and they want to help with this, here we are.
Well, we're all collaborating, aren't we? Really, like Frances says, you know, we're co-creating.
We are.
We are, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
It is
we're
so beautiful.
downloading the blueprint. And
Yes, we've all got the blueprint in us. We haven't got to look outside for it. We haven't. We've got it inside. And when we come back to peace, when we come back into love, it opens up, and then it gets shared. Well, it's like we're like a computer that like this secret little button that gets pressed, and then the universe just comes in, and then you're part of it. Then you know you're part of it. And then you're all.
Yeah, it's funny, Adrian, because sorry, just going back to the book. I didn't sit down and say, oh, I'm going to write a book. It didn't happen that way. Like I said, I like to sit at my kitchen window and look at the big tree and the sky, because there's so much sky. And how it came about is I just sat down there and I recalled an incident that happened with my grandfather a long time ago. And I thought, oh, I remember that. And how his perception, his lifelong belief in something completely changed just by one little act of kindness. And I thought, oh wow, yeah. And then something in me said, write it. So I was writing it, and it was just flowing. It was just flowing. And at the end of it, I had this beautiful little story. It was Feather Duster. That's the one I'm talking about. It's the first one I wrote. And it kind of went from there. I didn't get up the next morning and kind of go, oh, let me write another story. It wasn't like that.
Inspired by it.
It was just like, oh, and then I had little thoughts and I'd write them down. And I would only really write something down when it really came from somewhere else. It didn't come from my mind. I wasn't trying to think. I wasn't trying to make anything happen. It was just flowing. It just came, and that's how the book was written. And I didn't even know it was going to be a book. It was just a series of little stories that I found I entertained myself with. And then I had so many that I thought, you know what? I could actually make a little book. But then when I read the stories, I thought the stories are nice, but I needed to have an in-depth, deeper look at what went on in the story. So anybody reading it could really get every last little drop of insight out of it. You know, and that's what I tried to do. I tried to you know, squeeze as much as I could out of every detail, and I hope that reflects.
Well, that's certainly what I got from it, and I also got the place where it came from. Because
you feel
that. You feel it, don't you? In fact, I didn't even have to open the book.
Yeah, I know. When I put it in your hand, it was like a fireball.
This is tingly.
I think you had a few beads of sweat come as well.
Yeah, but that's
because you can feel it, can't you? You can feel it in the words. You can feel the space between the words. You can even feel it in the book. There's
and that is what holds everything together. That you can feel, that is it.
And when you do something in that spirit, no matter what you do, it has that energy to
Blessed, isn't it?
It has that, you know, and everybody can feel it. You know,
like water, just flows.
You can feel it. You know, everything that we do is in that spirit. Otherwise, we don't do it yet. You know, we're not like, oh, let's get this done. Let's get this done. We've got this to do and that to do. It's just like the right time will present itself. The right producer will present itself, and when it does, it will flow and it'll be in the spirit.
There'll be no resistance.
And everyone will feel it. And then when it comes together, it'll be just like, you know, all these spirits together, all these unique spirits together, all as one, and it's beautiful. And that's how we always do everything, isn't it?
And knowing what that's going to do for people that's going to come along and experience, we already can see their faces. You know, we've already seen it, felt it, been there. We've felt the people that have come. We've felt the unbelievers coming, and there's smiles on their faces when they leave, and the vibrations that they're going to be having, because you can't deny music. You hear music, it's going to affect you.
I think there's several stories in your little book that came out for me, and I think that story at your time was a DJ. You know, I don't know, which explains a lot, you know, about the vibration and where your love of music comes from, and you're understanding the power of music and how it can affect people with music. I thought that was gave me a real insight into where your part maybe what's informed some of your work. The other one I think that really struck a chord with me is Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being persecuted for telling the truth.
Yeah.
For me,
At such a young age. I
well,
was so
isn't
young.
a story of our times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being persecuted for telling the truth.
Yeah.
And the abuse that came after it as well because of it. You know, and me being so young, I'd never felt that before. I didn't understand it. Why would people be like that? It completely threw me, but in a good way and a positive.
No, I could see the lesson that
so
came
glad
from
that
it. It was the parallels with what's been happening recently. I think that really struck me. That you can be persecuted for telling the truth, telling the truth, ridiculed, even criminalized, censored, abused. Because people don't want to hear the bloody truth, do they?
No, people have been getting rid of truthers forever, haven't they?
Well, investing in the lie.
Truthers have been persecuted and wiped away.
But I think what I also got from the story is you can't suppress the truth.
No.
The truth is.
And you know what? I'm really glad, Adrian.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that happened.
Yes.
All those years ago.
Yes.
Because when I first went to school, I was very popular. I had lots of friends, and maybe I would have conformed to a way of being. But because that happened, it alienated me from everybody and made me look at things.
Just tell everybody what did happen. You told the children at school that Father Christmas didn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's and from there you were persecuted for
all the adults.
All the adults have got involved as well, and it's just like
obsessing your children. How dare you evil child.
Well, for telling the truth, and I think and I could do it with my kids now. I'm not going to. Why would you lie to your children?
Exactly.
And I think the way that your parents did it was rather beautiful. Explain, well, no, mummy and daddy buy your presents, and it's nothing to do with you being good or bad. It's what we could afford. It's what we could afford at the time, you know. And instead of children thinking that they got rubbish present because they were bad or because
they really
this is just crap, isn't it? What on earth?
And the spoiled one who's never nice to anyone, always gets the best bike, the best computer, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, what? How confusing is that?
But
the funny thing is that story is still told today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still told today.
I've been guilty of it myself. I drew the line at the tooth fairy. You know that.
I still tell my version.
No, I'm telling your version now. No, that's it.
Yeah, my version of Christmas, I tell my children, angels bring your presents, and angels are people that love you and that want to bring you something nice for Christmas. So angels bring you presents. That's what they know and believe, and that is the truth. If someone's going to buy you something, to me they're an angel. and to vision things that you want, not because they're material, things that people are focusing on and visioning for the future are usually material things. That's not actually what it's all about. It's an energetic feeling you're going to think. So if you wanted a new car, it's not the car you want, it's the freedom. It's the knowing that you've got a safe space. It's how that's going to make you feel when you're able to travel, when you're going to be able to do this and do that.
It's emotions that people want. It's not things. And I think
exactly.
So people get lost. They think that the car's going to make them happy, but actually they just want to be happy.
It's not the car. Yeah,
they just want to feel fulfilled. They just want to feel peaceful. They just want to feel love. But they see that, and the ego sees it in the things, and that's what messes it up, isn't it?
Yeah, and also the emotions that people want. People want love. They want to be respected, and all these things that people want. They've got to realise they've got to give that away. They've got to give that away into the world because they've got it inside them. Everything they want is inside them. If they want a reflection of that, they've got to put it into the world first. So, you know, like people say to children, you've got to respect all adults, and I don't believe in all that. I think respect needs to be earned. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean the child respect.
I encourage you not to trust the blooming word they tell you. Actually.
Yeah, I wasn't raised to respect my elders. I was told to not be rude, not be rude.
Yeah.
But you don't have to respect anyone unless they've shown that they are worthy of being respected.
And I
as
think
a child,
that's been a problem in the last few years, isn't it? People giving away their authority that people really aren't entitled to or can be trusted with.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, I love the fact that all happened.
Me too.
I love the confusion that happened over the last few years. I'd never felt more peaceful. When the world stopped, I knew it was going to have to stop. I felt in my spirit that was going to happen, and it happened. So I thought, oh, this is all in line with what's going on.
I've met so many amazing people through this that I would never have met.
It showed all it through going up through all of that. The systems that were in place that were keeping everyone on their wheels was like that was everyone's reality. All of a sudden, their wheels all come off, and then people were sitting there thinking, oh. It's not so fixed. It's not so how we all believed it would be. So what is really going on? All of a sudden they can stop this, stop that. You're not allowed to do this, not allowed to do. Oh, I thought that was live. I thought that was the reality. No, they're programs. They're all programs, and you just seen the glitch in the matrix. You saw it. You all saw the glitch.
Yeah, it was.
So that was a good thing.
It was.
That was a very good thing.
And it's woken a lot of people up.
Yeah, and people having to spend time where they didn't have to wake up to an alarm clock, rush out the door, go to work, be part of someone else's dream all day, to be able to have a wage packet, to be able to pay the taxes and the bills. That's not life. But so many people are living that and didn't know that wasn't life. They thought that, well, this is the life that I've got, and this is the life I have to do this because I have to do that. And they're tied up, and there's no freedom in any of that.
Yeah, they've tried to create a great reset, and they've triggered a great awakening.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a positive
silly beggars.
And wheels will come.
Do you know what, as though, Adrian, diamonds are forged under pressure.
Yeah.
So that's all that happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm seeing that, and there's a whole new world coming into experience.
It is a beautiful way. You can feel it and see it now.
And I'm meeting people, you know, the last 2 or 3 years, I've come across some amazing people. Youngsters.
Yeah.
Early 20s with the most amazing level of awareness.
Well, the children are coming on it, aren't they? The children that are being born now. They haven't been programmed with all that gifts.
No.
The children are being born now.
Well, they have been pretty deeply indoctrinated, and I think the indoctrination is more intense and more sophisticated than it ever has been, and for most is utterly convincing. But what I am seeing is
more awake.
Some really exceptional young people coming through. They just aren't operating on that level. The program never worked on them.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, it never really worked on you two either, did it properly? Well, we did try to go along with it for a little while.
Can I tell you a little short story that happened to me on the bus the other day?
Please.
I would like to share this with everyone. I'm on the bus, and I'm near the doors that let people off. So I'm sitting there. There's quite a lot of people on the bus. So elderly man with like a Zimmer frame thing wanted to get on, so the bus stopped, put the ramp down, and then the doors opened, and he was trying to get up the ramp. Now normally I'm the first one up. I can honestly guarantee you nobody beats me to the person
for the rescue.
Yeah, but this guy was trying to get up the ramp, and a lady in front of me was saying, "Do you need any help?" And he's going, "Oh no, I'm fine." Normally by that time I would have been, come on mate, I'll help you. Yeah, I couldn't move. My body would not move. My mind was saying to me, get up, help him. My body wouldn't move, and I was like, what's the matter with me? What is going on? So he's still there trying to get up this ramp. Nobody's moving, everyone's just watching, and I can't move. So after about 3 minutes, this young black guy had some earphones in. He kind of took his earphones out, see what was happening. He's got up, gone over to the guy and said, come on, mate, you can do it. Come on, just a step at a time. He goes, I can't seem to get my foot up. He goes, come on, mate, you can do it. And he's encouraging him and helping him. At this time, I still can't move. Yeah, so he's saying, come on, mate, you can do it. So a minute later, another black guy came, saw what was happening. He was on the street. So he saw what was happening, come behind the guy, got to the other side of him and was holding him. So
the old man was a white man, wasn't he?
Yeah, the old man was white. So he's like, come on, mate, you can do it. Anyway, between the two of them, not pushing him, but helping him and supporting him, got him onto the bus. And then he sat down and he said, oh, thank you, you're a right gentleman, you're a really gentleman. And as they got off and the bus started, I thought to myself, now there's a big lesson in this. I wasn't supposed to be the one that got up.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny how the two guys were black? Now, I don't know what preconceived beliefs or anyone on that bus or that man himself had. But after that, you know, I knew what they'd now be thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it wasn't your place to intervene, was it?
No. But Adrian, I could not move for the life of me. I was thinking,
Well, you'd have spoilt it if you had, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I would have got in
the blessing would have been dissolved.
Got in the way of something beautiful that was supposed to happen. It was only after I thought about it.
And I think that's helpful to explore with people watching. When you talk about getting ideas and thoughts from the blueprint from space, sometimes when you're struggling with something, the answer would be do nothing.
Exactly. If you don't know what to do, don't do anything.
Well, the ego wants to react, doesn't it? Always wants to do something. But very often when you take that question into that great mind, that space, you'll get nothing back. That just means wait.
Yes.
Don't interfere. Yeah. So something else is emerging that needs to evolve for things to happen.
Yeah,
the person coming into your orbit, the situation is going to sort itself out, or heaven forbid I was wrong, you know. It's but if it tells you to wait, trust that.
And when it tells you to move, there's nothing you can do.
You can't. You have to move.
You can't not move. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, what an amazing chat. Yeah. What's the next thing with your music? Are you doing any events? Have you got anything like
that? We're getting them. This is what we're putting it out there for some producers now. Have got the idea. They know what we want. So we've done it to a few people, but we're not chasing them. They're either coming back with it, will want to work with us, or not,
or they're not the right ones.
They're not the right ones. So we know the right ones there.
Yeah.
So we know the right person who knows about music, knows about energy and frequency. Produces music. We don't produce music. If we did, we'd do it. I've got
a feeling I might know somebody, so I should.
I've got a feeling you do.
I should have a little chat with them.
I've got a feeling you do.
Let's see what emerges. We'll have a little.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
I think it will be very good for them too.
Yes.
And can you imagine the coming together of like-minded spirits coming together to make this music, to make this frequency and this tone that we need? And oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for everybody, because I know everyone's going to benefit from this. Everyone that works with it and everyone who's going to come to it. It's going to be. We're going to raise a vibration.
This can be taken everywhere. This is something that can be taken everywhere. It's not, you're not a certain age, a genre, or whatever. It is for everybody.
Yeah, we've got a friend in Israel who came over and spent time with us a couple of weeks ago, and Tel Aviv she lives, and she's already like, bring it to Israel. I'm like, I didn't think about Israel. wow, okay, like hotels is everywhere.
Yeah, but you know what? We've already seen it. It's going everywhere. It's going all over the world. It's amazing. It is amazing.
We just got the other pieces of the jigsaw emerge.
Yes. And we know them pieces are out there.
I know that.
And you know what? When they hear this, when the people who are going to be part of this hear this, they're going to go, I knew it. That's what I knew. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what They're the people we want. We don't. It's not people that come.
Oh, I think I can. No, I know what you mean.
No, it's in there.
It's like, you know what we mean.
It's been planted in their spirit too. They've been waiting for this time too, and everyone who's part of this have been waiting for this time too.
It's like putting out a call, and then all of a sudden someone goes, "Ah, hear the call. That's
That's
it.
That's me. That's me. What we want the people that know it's them. Yeah.
Because it'll be the right energy that everything will come together, and it will just be in spirit, and it will just.
It's already happening, Frances.
It's all spirit led anyway, isn't it? We're just following the trail.
Just enjoying the ride.
Enjoying the ride, that's the one. Or surf. Sometimes you have to do a bit of surfing.
It's a bit like a roller coaster, isn't it? You know?
Of course,
they're great fun as long as you don't think you're driving.
Exactly.
Just stick your hands in the air and enjoy the ride.
That's it. And fear as well. Let go of fear. Fear is on the other side of fear is everything everyone wants. And fear stops people from connecting. Fear stops people from living. Fear stops people from breathing properly.
It creates a dystopian reality which we would rather not engage with.
So therefore we've got to show the different reality. We've got to show them the different reality. Some people have to see it before they believe it.
Yeah, you got to feel it.
You believe it when you store it.
Yeah, and that's what.
And I think the key element as well is to appreciate everything in your life. Everything, appreciate it. Everything that happens, reflect on everything. You know, be a constant observer of yourself and reflect on your day and appreciate all these little nuggets of information, all these little things that you can expand and evolve into more and more of who you really are in your own unique way, because we are all unique sparks of the divine, and it is that in our uniqueness when we come together, look what that actually brings to the table.
Wow, that's powerful.
You know, it's not just one energy, it's loads of different energies all in unique form with different perceptions of the same thing but in a different way, and it's amazing. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been a word, actually we're trying to find a word.
There isn't a word.
That
there is not a word,
you know, that
but one has there isn't.
No, and not only that, you don't want to actually water down the feeling with a word.
You can't convey that with a word, can you?
No.
Without killing it. So it has to be felt and experienced, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do people get hold of you if they want to?
Through you.
Project. Through you. Am I your agent?
No, we're through you, agent.
10%.
Do you know what? You've got.
You know
I get the message. I get the message. Yeah.
And we will do more videos and stuff. Of course, we'd love to come back on and speak to you again, won't we? It'd be lovely.
We'll set it up properly.
Yeah, because we're rising up now. That's what's happening. We're all rising up now.
Are we just?
To a new level of consciousness where we're all going to be very, very happy. And people are going to want to join that, aren't they? But they've got to see it, haven't they?
I know we live in the now, but I've just clocked the time. I could talk to you ladies all day, but my dear old mum is waiting for me to take her shopping, and I know she'd be sitting there for ready, sort of like an hour before I'm due anyway. So.
I will have a lovely, lovely
day. Sending you lots of love and good energy.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for today. This has just been really, really
more than welcome. Thank you. Thank you. You take care. Love you, love you, love you. Bye-bye. Bye.